First stop, Church Street, Tapping Deli, East 101 East, Church Street, Talbot, North Carolina. I was like I told you before, live streaming, live. It's a live recording from Raw Thoughts Around. I'm your host, Ryan Jones, and today, man, I got some amazing guys here on the show, man, and I call them the Soul Brothers. Well, excuse me, they call themselves that, Raw Thoughts. But I call them the Soul Brothers, and I got my guy, Councilman TJ Walker, Award 4 in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and I got none other than the candidate who we shall pronounce very soon, although he may not say, because he's humble. He's humble. That's what he said. Don't charge to his mind. Don't charge to his heart, charge to his mind. We got Mr. J. Kelly, candidate Councilor Walker now. And how you guys doing there, man?
Good, man. Another day.
Did you enjoy the food here at Church Street Tavern?
Oh, man, it was great. It was great.
It was good.
Shout out to the homies.
Yeah. So, you know, with this, right, like, I'm going to try to do this in a venue, in a city near you, and it's going to be fun to have these live conversations, bigger crowds. Hopefully everybody's safe and they should be handling, doing things correctly for the protocol of COVID and things like that. But here, the Soul Brothers, man, the reason why I got them on the show is because these guys, man, have been doing a lot of stuff in the community. Like, they have been doing things to help these kids become better adults in the city of Rocky Mount in Nash County. Like, Nash County residents, that's where they reside at. But I got lucky to get them to come and talk for a second. So this is pretty cool. So, like, guys, tell me what led you to get We Fit going, and like, when was the moment that you said, man, I got to do some of these kids rocking out? And we're going to break it down, because we're going to go to him later on about his councilman run. We're going to talk about all that with you as well.
All right. So We Fit started 2014. It was really a vision, man, and just a plan and a dream that came forth out of really understanding that we fit into a society that constantly tries to remind us that we don't. So, you know, through that idea, through that concept, which birthed from insert called the Hamitic hypothesis. So through reading that, it talked about the Hamites and the Hamitic people. So the concept is where the actual name came from, and being able to, you know, embrace and show our people that we do fit into a society that constantly tries to tell us that we don't. You know, that we have a place here, and we belong here. So that's really where the concept came from, man. And then it was just a matter of kind of legalizing it and formalizing it into, you know, what it is today as a nonprofit.
So, like, by that being a nonprofit, like, tell people who are trying to get a nonprofit going, although it may not be in the same field as you, the process. Is it like an easy process? Is it up and down? Or like, I mean, for you, like, how long did it take? Or like, what was it that made you think it was going to be sticky? Like, getting a board of directors? Did you need that for yours? Did anybody, because everybody has different ways of handling their structure of their business.
Yeah, it's a process in how you do it. It's, you know, legally, there's a certain type of way legally that you have to have it done. Like, I believe you only need 2 board of directors, and then you have paperwork you have to turn in from you're getting your name through the state, getting your actual nonprofit legalized through the state. Then if you want to take it a step further, having your 501c3, which is your tax exempt status, you go to the IRS for that process. But it really depends on what you want to do with it. That's going to tell you the degree of difficulty, or how hard it is, or how easy it is. Like the level you want to take something is the level in which that process or journey is going to be to get to where you're trying to go. So if you just want a nonprofit, to say you got a nonprofit, that's easy. You file with the state, get to a 501c3 status, you know. But if you're really trying to build something that's beyond you and really trying to do something that change, because that's the heart of missing the nonprofits, to help people, you know, to help and to change a culture from what it is. So whenever you want to help somebody, I believe that you should have a vision that goes far beyond yourself. So that should take you some time to build. It should take you some energy, some work. It's a process to make it happen. It's not just gonna come overnight.
So I know, like, with you, like, you had it since 2014. And don't worry, we gotta bring my guy in. You know, we ain't gonna let him sit over there like a sad puppy over there, man. You know, now you got Councilman candidate Walker, J. Kelly Walker, here with you, and I know he's been helping a lot now. And what did y'all come with the idea of doing the things you're doing with the kids now? And I know y'all call yourselves Soul Brothers. So where did that come from? I'm just curious, like, how did y'all come up with Soul Brothers? That was just something J. Kelly just said.
Jay really, to give you the backdrop, we fit is not just what we do. with what you see now. You know, so We Fit started out, first thing we had was like back to school bashes in the city of Rocky Mount.
Okay.
That was kind of like, all right, we're gonna start building our brand this way. Over time, we moved into doing summer camp. So the first summer camp we did, we had boys and girls, and it was a mess, man. It was all over the place. First one we had was crazy. Then we moved. I was about to say, like Jay, he could talk about it the same way. That's kind of how it came to be into fruition. But then we went into just from that, learning from that, into now the all-male summer camp, trying to see if we could just target a set demographic, a set market of young men, and then try to help cultivate them versus trying to take all the pop, to just focus on the piece, work that piece, and go full-heartedly, get that right first. And we might branch out again to, boys and girls, because we want to help all kids. We want to help all our people. But, yeah, Jay probably, he can dig more into the Soul Brother name, too.
Yeah, so the Soul Bros and Jay, like, how did you just say, you know what, I do want to be a part of this, because as you can see, he's been around. Like, what made you say, man, I got to be a part of this, and how you already knew like you could be an impact to the children, but like when did it start? Like when did that vision hit you?
It was crazy, man. One day it was summer league. When y'all first did the book bag giveaway, 2014?
Yeah, 14, maybe 15, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 14. So we did a summer league, Rocky Mount. TJ was playing. Matter of fact, it was 15. He was on our team, and he come in like, man, I might have to leave a little bit early. I got to make sure the church straight. So we can do the book bag, where we can store some book bags there. He was like, hey, Jay, you think you can be the speaker? Like, man, I ain't never done it before. Like, put me down. So it's crazy. My first time ever speaking in front of some people, like the audience, like speaking, and I'm a keynote, was We Fit. Book bag giveaway, 2015, man. My first time ever speaking in front of a group of people. So, telling TJ to give the book back. I'm like, man, it's dope. Let me know if I can help you any kind of way. So 2017, TJ called. He like, man, let's do a camp. I just graduated school. So we did the camp. The first year, like TJ said, man, it was all over the place. And we connected with the kids in a different way, but it was so much going on. So we hadn't really planned. We just went. And we disconnected from it. We came back, man. And last summer was crazy. It was so dope. So we had a kid who was kind of shy at first, and he was like saying his name low. And we did some exercise to get him to finally speak. And I think I was like, man, from now on, we clap and we'll say, appreciate, I'm Soul Brother so-and-so, and it just stuck, man. So we end up, so now I just call him Soul Brother, man. But like you said, I was connected, man. It was God that connected us. Because most people probably be like the walk and connect, like they brothers. But
yeah.
God definitely connected us, man. And like TJ, whatever he do, man, I'm going to follow behind him, man. The same thing, if I'm leading something, he going to follow behind me. So God's connected us for a reason, man. It's really my guy, man. And like I said, with the We Fit program, it's really just growing. And I definitely know one day the nation will know about it. And we'll try to set them up different places because it's starting to be talked about a lot of places. And it's just, I don't know, man, when the camp ends, it's emotions everywhere. You're sad to see it come to an end. Yeah. Man. That's the kind of impact you have on you. But to know, too, you definitely reaching back, helping somebody else cross. So that's what's so liberating about it and so fun, man. So
that's great. That's what it's about. And like for you, like honestly seeing you for a while, we ain't known each other for years, but we known each other since like we had a connection. But like it seems like I want to know where did that gift come from? Like for you to be able to naturally speak, like he put you on the platform, like you said, you never spoke.
Yeah.
Then anytime I see you in something, it's like you always know the energy of the room to know what to say, how to say it, or whatever. And like, does that come to you naturally? That's something that you just like before I go in, I gotta have myself mentally prepared or whatever.
I think if I try to prepare, I over prepare. So man, really just step in the room, try to study the room. And I think God's gifted me with that. I try to just study the room and just tell God whenever I speak for me. So I think that's what's so nice about it, man, that I just tell God, just put me. Whenever I do get to the table, I get in the room and I open my mouth, just get to talking, and it just flows. And then it's too, man, the story. So the storyline of it, man, just put it together and make it happen, man. So You know. But I practiced this a long time. I wanted to be a preacher, man. I was 3 years old. I wanted to be a
So
preacher.
you're one of the ones that was like in the mirror at home when you was a kid.
No, I make my little cousins get in front of the church. I go put on some church shoes, put on a big t-shirt. And I used to get the hairbrush, man. I used to preach to her, man. You know, get the child Bible, read out of it, and just preach. So, man, that's what's crazy. You know, now I guess, like, you know, you say, like, he speak. But, man, this is something I practiced a long time, man. Like, I always wanted to be a preacher, man. Oh, I always wanted to be a preacher.
Man, that's pretty dope. And now that leads me to my next segment. We're going to start with you first. What led you to decide that you want to be a councilman? You know, your dad is pretty well known. You always been in the church. You always help kids, and the church is always, you know, pretty much the churches that I know of always are the priority is the children, the future of the church, and making sure they're going by the way of God is what they, you know, that's what the churches say. You know, because everybody has their own different religion, so I ain't getting that. So whatever makes you happy, makes you happy. Raw thoughts. So what decided you to say, man, I'm gonna run for council, man?
Man, growing up, just being around politics, like you said, one granddad, first African-American county commissioner in Edgecombe County. Another one served 30 years on Edgecombe County School Board. So just always kind of being around it. I remember my first time campaigning, I was 9. So just being around it, seeing how it's about helping people. Always like it's always something going on growing up where the family was helping somebody.
Right.
So seeing that, then as I got older, went off to college, North Carolina Central University. I had an advisor, Dr. Livingston, and he told me if you really want to make change in your community, he said start you a nonprofit and get involved in local politics. So I came back home. I worked under an actual elected official now. We were Blackwell. I worked under him at OIC, and I just saw how that was a position to make change in the city. Like if you really want to make change, if you want to provide a better place for the next generation, you want to provide a better city, and that's the spot to do it. So that's how it all came together, man. It's observing.
It's pretty dope, like seeing your family going through it. You know, some people like in our day and age, like that's called keeping the legacy alive. Like your family keeping those traditions alive. A lot of people, some families do that, but then some families like to stray away. You know, some families, let's say if you're in the funeral home business, you may not have everybody want to be in the funeral home business, but like for they see you like still stay with it. You know, most children day and time usually try to tell them to keep them, you know, make sure they're in their element, you know, like, hey, do what's best that you like. I'm not gonna force you, but to see you actually do it, and I'm assuming that you love it, because Raw Thoughts, I hope you love it. There's a lot of stress to be in politics, a whole lot of stress. So I'm assuming that you love it.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of stress, you know, and helping people. Because sometimes, you know, people you help don't even treat you in a way where, you know, like you help them.
Right.
But it ain't about how they treat you, man. It's about, you know, how you treat them. And so the stress is not in, you know, it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But I definitely wouldn't force my kids to try to follow. I was never forced. You know, my dad was always one that prayed over me, you know, every night. God, whatever he desires to be, you know, let him be that first and foremost, to be a Christian, be a believer in you. So I was never forced into anything that my family did. I was exposed to it.
Right.
But they just kind of equipped me to kind of be led by the Spirit and to be able to make my own decisions. So, you know, as far as being led and making that decision, that's kind of nothing forced, man. And I don't advise anybody to force their kids into nothing either, just because it's something you want them to do. Like, God give everybody their own mind, their own gifts, their own talents. You gotta let them explore.
I got another thing at the end I'm gonna ask y'all too. This could be a Raw Thought thing. But so now, Mr. Walker, J. Kelly Walker, you're testing the waters. Like they say, you know, you about to what they say, forego your sophomore season, go to the NBA draft. You testing the waters of Rocky Mount, Nash County. You know, in a different area, not in the normal area that most people probably say Raw Thoughts is an area that we usually are. I want to say, I might be wrong, councilman in. You know, like the areas that we're in, mostly are areas that Raw Thoughts, they may feel that we belong in to be in that leadership role. But your journey is a little different. So like tell us how this happened.
Just like I said, like kind of like TJ said, he had his granddads. It's just always like with me, like my grandma would always watch the news, both of them. Like, so, you know, I go to my dad's house on the weekend, my grandma watched the news. And I never forget I was 9 when Floyd hit. So my grandma's house was underwater. And I never forget when Bill Clinton came to Tarboro, Princeville.
Were you there to see Bill Clinton?
No, I didn't go. But
Okay.
he flew over Hillsdale in the helicopter, in Air Force One, the little helicopter. Man, I was like, wow, that's dope. So around this time, Al Gore and George Bush was picking up. I was going to the 5th grade, and like the whole school year, man, we would study that election. And at the time, you really know what's Republican, you really know what's Democrat. You just going off, we go home, oh, who you voting for? I don't really, like my grandma knew, she's like, well, I don't know, we got to listen to what they say. She would make us sit down and watch debates. And man, ever since then, I've been really engaged in the politics, like very into it. So same thing like TJ said, man, I remember I was 14. I knocked doors with my grandma's neighbor, Miss Mabel, for John Kerry. I was like, man, this is nice. You get to meet people, you get to smile, they feed you.
Get a
You get
smile.
to walk,
They feed
you
you.
get to out. And I think, man, after every day, she was giving them like $10. But back then, $10 was a lot.
Yeah.
Like 13, 14. That's money. We go to the store, get a jungle juice, chip, hot dog.
Yeah.
So, man, I was like, yeah, I want to get into politics. So then when I go into the military, like you serving like different boards in Afghanistan, you would do different stuff. I was like, man, to see the way, like just how grateful we are to be on land here. Like I just want to be a part of change. And I was like, man, I always wanted to come back home and do it. I didn't want to go nowhere else.
Right.
I want to come back to Rocky Mountain and do it. And my prayer was, man, when I came home at 23 years old, like God, whatever's for me, let it be for me at the right time, your time. So I knew before, like when TJ announced he was running, like at that time, I was like, do I run? I told TJ, like, yeah, I called TJ, I said, if you do it, I'm in. TJ said, hey, bro, I'm doing it. I'm going down Monday, I'm going to foul. Monday came, TJ, like, I'm on my way. TJ, it ain't right. It didn't feel right. But now it feels right. Like I purchased a home, and like they say, it's not, I guess, it's not, the councilman wouldn't look like me in that ward, but a lot of stuff don't look like us in America, but now we starting to change.
Right.
So, and I don't want people to just see me as the right candidate, the right choice. So, that's pretty much what made me decide to get into it. Just felt it was time. It was on me. So when God said go, you gotta go. So I had to put my shoes on and go.
Man, so now I know y'all guys came from those environments, like the city guys, Prosper, and things like that in the neck of the woods. Cause you said you was by Hillsdale. So again, we'll go back to raw thoughts back in those times, and I know it's a great place to be at no matter what. But now, like, I'm gonna hit you with a raw question. You're a councilman. You may be the next councilman in that area. So how do you guys like feel about what is y'all mindset and what are you guys planning to do when it comes to, we see this all around the country, like police brutality, how things are going. I've been seeing a lot of things that y'all been doing a lot of stuff in the community with the police, but people still have their raw thoughts and opinions on what police are doing. So give us your take on how you feel about it around the world, but also in your area.
It's crazy around the world, man, but it's been going on. It's nothing new. We just have media now. That's like we have media today. Like people been having these conversations, and it just word doesn't get out. Especially you look in the black community. At once upon a time, if you didn't go to church, the Bible, the barber shop, the nail shop, the hair salon, that was your news.
Right, right.
Now we got cameras everywhere. You got phones everywhere. So the crazy thing is that we actually are witnessing. We've seen, what's going on around here in our area. It's not going on, especially not as obvious as what we've seen. Like if it's going on here, it's very suppressed to where we don't really see the root of it.
Right.
But with the fact that media is out now, we're seeing everything. I just hope it never hits our area. I think we do a good job, especially in Rocky Mount. I can't speak for Tarboro, but we do a good job of being careful of picking our police chiefs and our candidates and allowing them to be trusting them that they'll vet out people that they hire, and it starts, with having police chiefs and people in authority that look like you, because most of the time that's not always the case.
Right.
Sometimes you got the person in authority that doesn't look like you, so they already don't even understand, some of the type of oppression that we're going through. But when you put somebody in that looks like you, that understands at least somewhat of the oppression that we face, some of the injustice that goes on, that helps you out a lot too, because they already coming from a perspective and a ideology of somewhat of understanding.
Right.
You got somebody over time, historically, we had people in authority that have no understanding of us.
Right.
It's always been, you know, they're subordinate, they're less than. We've always been viewed like that. And still to this day, I mean, to a certain degree, we still are in some settings. The world is changing slowly but surely. But over time, that's how it's been. Your person in authority never really was a person of color. So they really didn't. I mean,
yeah, right.
That's
It is.
like
That's true. Yeah.
Let's say you the police, say Ryan the police chief, and you know you the police chief, and you grow up with the mindset that white people or any other person, not just white, but anybody that doesn't look like you are subordinate to you.
Right.
So as a police officer, you know, you don't even know anything about any other race. You know, your own thing has been your race, and all you have is a perception of what you think that other race is. So if your perception of them is they're bad, they're thug, they're harmful people, but you don't necessarily know them, you will treat them as such.
Right.
You know, black, white, green, whatever color you are. You don't know that, but once you get to so you have people like that in authority. You know, so that's how it's been over time, man.
And that's the feeling. That's what I was gonna say right there. If I get back to you, J. Kelly, like raw thoughts here. That's what I feel like you guys have a great connection with, is because you take time to understand the kids, understand people, talk to people. Now, let's say, for example, it could be a kid who's really a very smart student or a very smart person, but if their family is overall gang related, they're already subjected to the bad. You know, they may be a kid who really not in that. Their family may not allow them to be in that environment, but by the fact that such and such brother, such and such cousin, they already got their bullseye on you, like, yeah, he may do this and do that or whatever. And I'm kind of glad that you guys are like honing in and pulling out on that. And I feel like that's sometimes we gotta do, like sometimes you just gotta talk to kids. Even the ones you think that are bad. Sometimes they may want to hug. Sometimes they may want to be talked to. Sometimes they want to be heard. And sometimes you gotta be able to let them get their voice out and let them be who they are. And once you figure that out, it's so much easier to connect with people like that, because you get time to hear what they really want. Sometimes, like you said, our kids are really crying out in a different way. So they take those violence as their medicine, their coping, their way of feeling like they're being eased. That's their high. So if you take that away and really feel where they are and kind of show them that's not the way to go, or find a way to kind of see their language. Sometimes you got to speak their language. I ain't saying speak Spanish or French, but every kid got their own language they like really speak. And you got to be able to get to know them before they do get out here and do something they can't handle. And then you'll be like, man, I wish I could have done this. Or if you see a child die, I wish I was there when these kids done this. And that's why, you know, children are a precious jewel. Like, they are the future. And like, for you guys to be in those positions, you know, I know what y'all gonna do, but it's a whole different expectation when you get into those position seats like that. They're gonna expect more. You be like, I'm doing everything, I'm doing that. I'm gonna expect more. I'm doing this, I'm up here now. I expect more. We doing this, we doing that. I expect even more. So like, that's those things that happens. And give us your view on how you feel about police brutality and things like that, and how you feel like, what is the change that you could possibly bring from the area you at?
Gotta find a way to connect the dots every which way. Because you can't police yourself out of every problem. No way it can happen. So as far as you looking now, like in 2021, mental health is huge. It needs to be talked about, but also that police officer done seen something, an accident happen, that he could be traumatized from. So how often do we send police to get a mental health check? How many times do that kid that witnessed that trauma happen in that neighborhood where she saw so-and-so get murdered or shot, crying out for help? How many times do we look to try to take that child, reach out to the parent, like, wow, we can send them to Dr. Jones or Dr. Walker for mental health therapy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that stuff real. It's serious. It's trauma. And I've been, like I said, man, at the age I am, I've seen so much. And it's trauma that I held into a few years ago going to a therapist. You know what I'm saying? That we saw. That stuff real. But like I said, what ways can we connect the dots? So you look as a council person in the ward. What day can I get out and get this police out of his car? Instead of always send the cop, give out a ticket, put somebody in handcuffs, and only show up till Friday night lights. What way on Tuesday can we get him out the car?
Right.
To go knock this door to meet Miss Shirley, but also go meet JoJo, who works at CDC, Pfizer. This is the police who will be patrolling this area. This is scheduled. You also got Officer Williams on this side. He'll be patrolling this area on these off days. This is personal cell phone number. They have a personal connect. Then so if something happens, this community be just like this. Everybody's one. So what way can we be one band, one sound? So we got to try something different. And we haven't tried everything, but
Right.
you can't just control it from a phone. Sometimes you got to get out and interact with people. I think that's one way that we can solve and get better in the community also, getting out.
Right. So I'm gonna ask you guys two things. What is something as councilman that always been a dream that you always wanted to get done in your seat?
Man, the biggest thing for me right now, man, is a community development center. Yeah, through to where, but not to where the city is totally funding it, but being able to train the community into and unifying the community into seeing that, you know, we're able to sustain ourselves. You know, the city can be able to partner with you by allowing you to utilize their resources of abandoned buildings or whatnot, but really being able to see that, hey, we don't necessarily just have to depend on government funding, but we can do this ourselves as a community together, you know, and be able to receive as far the resources that the city has, you know, outside of funding. Some funding is good too, but trying to get the community to see that, hey, we don't have to be dependent on that. You know, we can depend on each other, you know, as a community to sustain ourselves. Because at the end of the day, if the government fails, who we gonna look to then? But if we can always depend on each other that's around us, we'll always be sustained.
Dang, right about that.
It's
Your
more
dream
like-
plan.
I'd only see more people like us become like business owners, homeowners, but also just be more financially free. Like what ways can we just be financially free? Like, you know, we talk all the time, like you got to go to college. Education is the key. And that's important. But in 2021 too, what way can you really budget your money? What way can you know, so if TJ calls in his ward and he like, Jay, we got 4 houses that's going up. What way can you sponsor? You don't even need the bank. What way can you pretty much get this on your own? That's one thing. It just, man, what way can I just save that searching 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid, 13-year-old? Just put me in the area where they need me, or I need them to resonate with something in their soul, just to not be lost. So that's something big, man, just trying to save one every day. Charge it to my credit card to save them, man. So that's something I'm big on, man.
You about to say something too good?
Oh, nah, I was that.
That's what you do.
That was dope.
So like, now I'm gonna ask y'all something real quick. Like off topic and stuff. Like, I know you do a lot of music. Like, for you, I know some people it's therapy. It's like music therapy. You is just something that you passionate about and that you love. And also, I'm gonna ask you something like, what do you love the most? What gives you that love or that passion or that spiritual therapy or whatever? But go ahead.
Yeah, man, music's therapeutic. It's that's the universal language. Man. Yep. Everybody can get with music some way, somehow.
So you talking about like Locks and Dipset, what they did last night?
Man, anybody. I missed it last night, but if I would have watched it, I could have been able to give my 2 cents about it, but I was asleep, man.
And that's what I was talking about, like expectations. My expectations when I was in high school, I expected Dipset to do better. See how expectations let you down? They let me down this way.
Just remember Jada Kiss, bro.
Well, yeah, so like JK, what is something for you that you do fun or whatever? Something ain't necessarily gotta be fun, but whatever you do.
Tell you, man, I'm not even tired. I'm gonna say a lot to you. Like I go to church every day, but I have some very good encounters with God when I'm running. Put some headphones on, and sometimes I don't even be listening to nothing. Listen to the news, listen to a podcast, but it's just, I don't know, I see something. I listen to God, and I feel like you getting up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, the world sleep, but you up, and I just listen to God running. So it's pretty dope to me, man. Just that's why I guess I run the way I run, just because I'm getting confirmation from something, from God. So that's what really do it for me, man. A lot of running.
Man, that's it. That's powerful there. So before we get off, because I ain't gonna hold them up, and you know they're busy guys. You know we got a guy running, so he might have to go out here. I don't even know what time it is. You gotta do whatever it is, election wise. You might have to go see somebody at the gas station. So I don't know what it said. what is something that these people need to know on Raw Thoughts Around about both of you?
Man, just you can get in touch with me anyway. You know, any way I can help you, reach out. Um, that's it. I'm married with kids. Shout out to the family, because you know, without them, without God, nothing would be possible. But yeah, any way I can help, assist, be a resource, advice, whatever, I'm here for it. I want all us to win.
Your turn, Mr. Kelly.
Pretty much, man. Same thing. You can reach out to me anytime, anyway.
Are you married with kids?
Nah, it's just me and the dog. Yeah, so you know, the thing about Yoko, you know, she the greatest dog that ever walked the earth. So, and that's weird. Like you say that, man. Like I remember, older cat told me one day, was riding, man, and he had this big mean dog, and we were just riding. I was, man, what a dog? He said, look back. Look back, the dog's in my face. I said, man, why you ain't tell me the dog that he created me? He said, man, get you a dog. He said, I just went through the roughest time of my life. He said, man, and the world was kicking my tail. He said, but every day I turned that latch, big and bad as you think this dog is, he was just as soft and cheerful when I walked through the door. Warm my heart. I said, man, you crazy. Ain't no way no dog gonna heal your heart. Telling you, man, a dog is really man's best friend, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. Every night I go to sleep, we cuddle together. Take how you want to take it. So you ever come to Jay Kelly's house, just know she don't get locked up if she roams how she wants to roam. That's it.
With that being said, man, that's enough of Raw Thoughts Around. We here at Church Street Happy Deli. Amazing food, 101 East Church Street, Tarboro, North Carolina, man. Great sandwiches. I mean, I would tell him to come on air. He's probably back there doing something now, handling his business, so he's good to go. But like I said, this is the first stop on the Raw Thoughts Around or the Raw Mind Sports live recording tour. So it's gonna be a once a month thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And we'll have Jay Kelly and TJ definitely on for even more episodes. Who knows who else we might bring in, but I appreciate it. Appreciate everyone who's here. And with that being said, even though we live, if you haven't seen it or not, whatever time you're looking at it, you have a great day, great night, great morning, whatever it is. Raw Thoughts Around is out.